It started on a sunny afternoon when HOA Karen, notorious for her overbearing attitude and obsession with authority, appeared at our front door demanding, "Show me your credentials." Her tone was sharp, as though mere words could compel obedience. She had taken to wandering the neighborhood, attempting to assert control over everyone and everything, even those properties she had no legal right to inspect. I calmly invited her in, maintaining a composed demeanor, knowing that any hint of anger or panic would play into her sense of superiority. My spouse, who had extensive tactical training, subtly took a position nearby, ready to step in if Karen's behavior became physically threatening. Karen's eyes darted nervously, sensing she had misjudged the situation, but she pressed on, insisting again on proof of credentials. Rather than escalating, my spouse performed a formal tactical salute, a gesture combining discipline, authority, and subtle intimidation. The effect was instantaneous. Karen froze mid-sentence, her face registering disbelief. The salute wasn't aggressive, but it carried a weight she had clearly never encountered. It silently communicated that we were fully capable of handling any challenge she might attempt, and that her assumed authority was meaningless here. Karen sputtered, attempting to regain control by waving papers and citing neighborhood regulations she barely understood. My spouse, still standing tall and calm, quietly explained the limits of HOA authority and the rights of homeowners. Karen's insistence began to crumble as she realized that not only was she wrong, but any attempt to push further could carry real legal and social consequences. Her voice faltered as neighbors who had gathered nearby to observe the confrontation began whispering amongst themselves. Witnesses noted her earlier patterns of overreach and were keenly aware of the disparity between her perceived authority and the reality of the situation. The presence of observers, coupled with my spouse's composed stance, amplified the psychological pressure. Karen began to backtrack, attempting to explain herself, but every word only highlighted her ignorance of legal boundaries. I calmly reiterated the facts. This is our property, she has no right to demand credentials, and any further intrusion would constitute harassment. Karen's attempts at intimidation failed completely, and within minutes, she slunk away, muttering excuses, clearly shaken by the unexpected but entirely lawful display of authority. The incident didn't end with her departure. The following day, I documented the encounter in full detail: time, location, statements made, and the tactical demonstration by my spouse. This record was shared with the HOA board, effectively neutralizing any future claims she might attempt. Her credibility within the community took a significant hit, as neighbors realized that her brashness and entitlement could be countered decisively without aggression. What stood out in this encounter was not just the immediate resolution but the lesson it imparted. Authority without legitimacy is meaningless. Karen had relied on assumed power and intimidation, but we responded with calm, measured actions rooted in legal knowledge, tactical awareness, and presence of mind. The combination left her powerless, highlighting that preparation and composure are far more effective than confrontation or fear. In the weeks that followed, Karen avoided interactions with our family. She clearly understood, at some level, that her usual tactics, yelling, demanding, asserting authority, would no longer work. And while the HOA continued to exist, her influence had been checked in a way that was both public and undeniable. It was a victory not just for us, but for anyone in the neighborhood who had ever been intimidated by her assumed power. The entire episode reinforced a core principle. Knowledge, preparation, and confidence are the ultimate tools in defending personal rights. Karen had walked onto our property expecting to intimidate, only to leave humbled, proving once again that entitlement cannot overcome competence.